Today we've something considerably different. It's a walkie-talkie. It's been messed with and it no longer transmits. It's been messed with. It does 10 million channels when of course it shouldn't. So put it in, put it on. It's on UK 40 at that. Let's put it on channel. Oh, it's like that, is it? How do you go down to single digits then? Right, okay. Channel 20. See what it does. So with our walkie-talkie, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. With the customer's walkie-talkie, notice in 1 watt mode. Testing 1 2. And it cuts out. And our batteries aren't flat. It makes me wonder whether somebody's tried to turn the power beyond what it can do. So, and when it does transmit, there appears to be no audio. Testing 1 2. So that's another thing. Got the full service manual here. We've never done the Intek 520 to my knowledge. I'll have to look in the back catalogue, see if we have. It goes through all the different channels for different countries. So we're going to hopefully be able to sort it out and optimise it at the same time. A sneaking suspicion it's some kind of export mode. Now, do we need the instruction book in order to actually put this onto UK channels? Now the customer sent in the power adapter thing, which is absolutely vital. I'm going to have to find a copy of the instruction book, aren't I? Because I mean, that is at 12 volts, so can it be operated with the vehicle running? So is it 13.8? Surely it wouldn't be 12. Not like some of those emergency sets are. I'm going to put it on. We've got our crocodile clip here. We're not set up for cigarette lighter plugs, and we never will be either. It's a right bodge. Let's see what happens. We'll go from the rubber duck aerial. That's filthy. These were around at the time when we were buying new sets for evaluation, and we would have bought one, but I couldn't actually get one. I kind of missed the boat. It's a shame, really, you know. They only kind of do one production run of things, and then that's it. I don't know where my fiberglass brush is. Oh, it's there. There's some marks on here which the fiberglass brush can't move. So we'll use the ceramic tool. They're clean enough. I wouldn't be surprised if these don't work as well as things like the Thunderpole TX or even the President Randy. So we'll get that plugged into our test gear. So we're going through the umbilical rather than the BNC on the top, which will be lossier. So switch the power on. I'll just make sure it's at 12 volts. There we are, we're at 12.8, just in case. And we'll see whether we can actually get it to transmit through the umbilical cord. I'll tell you what, we'll put picture in picture on and you'll see it if it does happen. It's actually showing a flat battery. So, we've got a voltage regulator problem. Let's put channel 20 on the signal generator, 2779125. It's not that brilliant. I better get an instruction book and see how many volts we're supposed to throw at this. Well, I think I've spent 90 minutes on this so far, downloading instruction manuals and service manuals. Now I've got an instruction manual. I managed to print out only the English pages. So, what do we do? Turn the radio off. Oh, let's see what volts this is first. So again it says 12 volts, but is that true? What's the specification? Right, well it's 7.2 volts or 9 volts, so we'll keep it at 12.8 then, as a maximum. Turn the radio off, it's off. Press the menu button, switch on. E1. Then what? Shortly press the menu button. So it's seeing a flat battery, isn't it? It's not going to transmit because it thinks it's got a flat battery. So we'll take the umbilical cord off. So it's now back on its battery. And we'll connect via the BNC on the top. The BNC adapter. Better sensitivity with that, but it's not that fantastic. Let's plug in the cyanide meter. We're going to have an earth for this. Or not. Let's put the cyanide meter up. I need to print off a sheet, don't I? Sounds harsh. It's 0.8 microvolts. Could be worse. What's it supposed to be? Let's turn the volume down. What's it supposed to be? Receive. Oh, it's supposed to be 0.5 for 20 dB sound. Well, it's far away from that. Right, back to transmit. Flip it on to transmit. Showing the battery as flat as a pancake. Right. Usual problem that batteries tend to be stiffer than the slots. There we go. So what does that switch do in the bottom? Doesn't that decide whether it's on NiCads or whether it's rechargeables or whether it's on throwaway batteries? And it's correctly set to rechargeable battery, because it's then expecting 7.2 volts instead of 9. So that's correct. There's a link in there, and that's probably some stupid export thing. Trouble is, it won't be in the service manual. I have to admit, I don't like doing customer sets when we've never seen one before. I wonder if it's had too many volts up it and it's damaged the voltage regulator. I mean, I want to help the bloke because these are expensive radios. Made in Thailand. Well, I'll pause the video while I fatten my way inside it. Right, so the power adapter has a built-in 8.5 volt voltage regulator. I thought I'd better check because we can't connect this with the radio taken apart. I thought, is it 12 volts? No, it's not 12 volts. So it's 8.5. So we'll put that back together. We'll turn the power off while we're taking it back, putting it back together as well. I thought I'd better check. So we can see from the outer two, it's positive and negative. So it's positive is the left of centre, so negative is the right of centre. It probably goes to deck anyway. So we'll change our crocodile clips. We'll go to 8.5 volts on the power supply. Ugh. So now we'll be doing everything from the BNC socket. So we'll put that to one side. I'm very glad he sent that in. So hopefully are we on? No, we weren't on. I wonder how many days I'm going to be doing this. So we've now got a full battery symbol. So what happens if we're going to transmit? Let's go on to, are we on the main meter? We are. We actually have continuous transmit. And it's doing well, it's not doing 1 watt, is it? It's doing 250 milliwatts. Or is that 0.1? So, power. Yeah, haha, 0.1, 1 or 4. So on 0.1, it's drawing 590 milliamps. So how do we adjust that? It's with the menu. What's next on the menu then? Oh, that one. Does that happen? Just under a watt, yeah. Watts is 3. Well, that's fair enough on this meter. Yeah, it's spot on 3. They want it to do so it's not being powered. Nothing stupid's happened to the can of power. And I'm going to have to research why that link's been cut and whether it's supposed to be cut for UK. Unless we just go into this menu thing, see whether there's some things that shouldn't be there. I mean, that looks normal. So then the question is, why hasn't it been working for the customer? What have I done differently? Because it wasn't working on the umbilical cord before I took the back off. Right, so back to the service manual. I'm going to have to print off a sheet, otherwise we're going to be forgetting where we are. Right, we're back with this. So, power it back up. Oh yeah, before we power it back up, yeah, that link's been cut, which puts it into some expanded mode, which we shouldn't be in. I will actually put some sleeving on that. We're going to check that umbilical cord to make sure it's actually not got a fault. It's going to be right fun, isn't it, keeping these crocodile clips on and working on the set at the same time. Right, what happens now when we go into switch on menu? Oh, nothing any different. What's LC? Oh, it's a, yeah, UK. Channel 1, channel, I don't know why that's there. What's ME? Oh, it's memory, yeah. CPT. Because this was made before we could access in the UK AM, if this does AM, I think it does. We have to go into another country for that. We can use it for AM, it is approved for it, even though it wasn't intended for the UK to use it at the time. So, while we've got it in receive, let's just carry on going through this, writing our things down. With this arrangement, it's actually 0.9. 10, 0.95. If we can get 20 out of it, we can. I'm not showing you the right meter. It is 1.5. Squelch to full. It is 90. No, it's not. It's 900 microvolts. At least it opens. Do the opposite, see the sensitivity, put the signal generator to standby, which it is, set the squelch on the radio. Signal generator back on. It's 0.9. So let's look at the S meter. what you'd call lazy. It is 220 microvolts for S9. On transmit, we're at the 4 watt scale. Before it was spot on 3 watts. It's drawing 1.6 amps. That's a lot for that current. See what other channels. Three watts. That looks like 2.95 there. What about the other band? CPT channel 1. 2.6 watts. CEPT channel 1, 2.6 watts. Right, go back to UK. Oh, pressed the wrong button, haven't I? And then back to channel 20. Oh, it does that, does it? Right. So that's got some parameters down. Oh, in transmit, what does it say on its meter? It says 4. So let's see what we've got to do to it. Oh, frequency. That's it, cut the power off. It's going to be all day this. Can't use the umbilical thing when it's in bits. Frequency. Let's go over to the display. 2779120. That's spot on. I don't know whether it is adjustable, but it's so spot on. So we do have some presets. We do have some coils. Adjust X. There is a VCO test point in the service manual. We're not going to do it because it's not what the set's in for, and we charge a fee for these different things. We charge a fee whether we're doing it 80 channel. We charge a fee if we're going to do AM, but I don't think he's asked us to do any of that. I will do it to show you, but not for him. It's supposed to be 3.6 to 4 watts. Somehow I doubt that. So if we can find X302, you know what, the diagram in the instruction book was clearer. It's on the other side, isn't it? And how do we adjust it? CT1. Crystal is on the other side. T302 is the VCO, and the test point is test point 1. So that's straightforward. It's got to be CT1, hasn't it? Yeah, it says X302. That's the crystal we're adjusting. That's crystal 302. That's the actual element, isn't it? It's an error in the service manual. Maximum power 203, 204. (203, 204). The power adjustment 501. What's it? 3.4. Let's go back to these. Current consumption now 1.696. We'll come back to the different channels later because I didn't really turn it over. So what about deviation? No. No mention of deviation or modulation. Right, we'll move over to the receive because that's what they want you to do. 9125, we are. Signal generator on. Back to the not being any power on it. One 102, 103. 102. Let's put the cyanide meter up so you can see what I'm doing. Wow, what a difference. That's all there is. Right, let's see what we've now got. Hardly dare move anything. dB. Do touching it make a difference? A little tiny bit. Is now 0.6. 10 dB. 0.57, and 20 dB is now 0.9. Now squelch, put that to full. That's volume. Squelch is adjustable. Why is there two squelch adjustments? Auto squelch. Haha. Right. So manual squelch is 101. 101 is the one between the two controls there. So with full squelch, it opens where I said it did before. I've now set it to 100 microvolts, the signal generator. Let's put the attenuator on the screen so that you can see where I am. So we're at 100, so I want to advance that till the squelch opens. If it does, it does. So that's 100 microvolts, where I want it. So sensitivity now. Turn the signal generator to standby, turn the squelch down, set threshold, signal generator back on. Oh yes, 0.3. Scratchy corner, here we come. God, it's going to walk and talk, this is. Right, auto squelch, where's that? So pick it up and yeah, the switch position. So normally auto squelch is going to be they want 1 microvolt. That's probably a bit too sensitive. At the moment it's working what? To be honest, it's working to about 1.5. Probably wants to be about there. Doesn't want to be as low as 1. So it's adjustment 103. So 103 is this one. So we can fiddle with it. Probably. Yeah. Coarser than that. There we are. 1.5, that'll do me. So we'll just jot down here. ASQ is preset, it's not really automatic. 1.5 microvolts, it was 1.2 microvolts. Just feel that's a bit more use. So that leaves us with 2 presets they've not told us about. .201 or 201. All the 200s are in the transmitter, and the other preset, that's 201, and that's 102. You don't think it's got an adjustable signal meter, do you? I mean, what else can anything be in the receiver? Let's have a look. We're bound to end up knocking it off again. Turn the volume down a bit. Yeah, we've knocked it off. Of course we've knocked it off. Going to be doing this all day. And that's the other one off. So let's put S9 on the signal meter. Now it's actually reading about S9, which it wasn't before for the S9 level. What I've got to try and do is hold this together and adjust this. I think that is our could be totally wrong. It could be meter preset. It is meter preset. There we go. It's now too generous. Oh, here we go again. That's exactly where I want it. Good. (100 microvolts). Meter lamp works, switches work, potentiometers work, sockets work. So deviation, I just have to look whether this actually does AM. I've got a block diagram. AM mod. So yeah, 102. 102 S meter. 701 FM mod. It's a deviation. So 701 is FM. 702 is AM. (701) is there. (702) is there. And what else did we still don't know what 201 is. Power meter. Oh, well, good grief. Well, I am surprised. So, here we go. I'd like to solder wires to that, you know. But it's not mine, is it? So, we're doing 3.6 watts, weren't we? We are doing 3.5 watts. And that's the power meter. Let's adjust it so it's just on 4 watts. Like that tool's fitting properly. Let's try a different tool. Is anything? Are we on to the screwdriver, which you'd never do? There we are. We're just on the 4. So that's that done. I'm going to check the deviation with the test set behind me. It's not on, so I'll come back in half an hour and we can finish the actual radio off by doing that. Then we're going to have to find out why it's not transmitting when connected to the umbilical. What I'm going to be doing is I'll get our power supply test dummy load thing out, and we know that adapter's got to provide 1.7 amps to run this radio. So remember, we're running it at 8.5 volts. Right, well, this is going to be fun, trying to pick it up, and I'll disconnect the external speaker. Let's move the manuals. Connect it once again. Make sure we're still on channel 20. Oh, negatives come off. Wow, it's 1.9. I'm going to have to connect it to the Marconi test set. Let's see what we've got on there. Right. Low. So that's reading low. We're going to have to use the oscillator and do this a bit more properly. See me connecting and disconnecting these lots of times. So I've definitely increased it, but I don't know what I've increased it to. Wow. Right. Well, that's 2.6. And 2.6 is just slightly over. I don't think we'd get the detector van out on a walkie-talkie for 2.6. But what we'll do is we'll go back to the Marconi test set. We'll reconnect it again. So bring back the oscillator. Unfortunately, I've pressed on the oscillator, changed the note, right, we'll go back to the other test set, unless this one suddenly is wallow. We'll go back to the other test set. What on earth is this packet? Crystal filters. It just avalanched me. Wow, it's 2.5, so that's fine. Do AM mod on the Marconi test set. Now then, we've got to choose a country where AM works. Is it CE? Let's have a look. I don't think it is. Is it EU? Yeah. So it's 1 watt, is it? It is indeed. Well, it doesn't affect what we're doing with the AM modulation. Now what we're going to have to do is to retune the test set for 27405. So there's a... Oh, of course the power's gone off, hasn't it? We were so close as well. 27205. Wallow, wallow. 1, 2. Wallow. Right. It is wallow. 55%. Why is it so low? Is it being twiddled down? The phantom twiddler has made it worse, haven't they? Wallow, wallow. 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 Well, I'm reading 70% on that. It's better than 55, isn't it? So I wonder what country code gives us 4 watts. Doesn't make any difference to the modulation, but I've put it in AU, haven't I? Yeah, 1 watt. So, because times have changed, we put it into E1. It's Spain, isn't it, really? If we put it into E1, we should give AM 4 watts. Let's see if we can do that. So there we are, 4 watts. AM. Press transmit. See what power it's now doing. 3.2 watts. Wallow. Well, to be honest, that's nearer. That's more like 80%. That's interesting, isn't it? The modulation has changed. Never mind. Let's see what it says for FM. Wallow, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Wallow 1 2. Right. I'm gonna have to double check that FM is still right, in case the AM adjustment affects FM, because that's been known to happen. Wallow. It's still about 2.5. That's good news. Right, so as far as I'm concerned, the actual radio is done. Right, so disconnect it. So here's the question. We're going to have to check that. We're going to have to check this, because why wasn't it powering up using this? Or from batteries? I think the thing to do, I'll just go and put some sleeving over that silly link. Okay, all we need to do is put it together. The long screws go in the top, the short screws go in the bottom. So I'm not tightening these, we'll do it squarely. So that one's tight, then the diagonal one tight, tight, and tight. So what we learned from that is the service manual is incomplete in its what it tells you to do. The information is there in the circuit diagrams, etc., but you'd expect it to be laid out so that an engineer can just go through a procedure like with the superb realistic manuals back in the day. Oh, that came out of that whatever set. Chuck that on the floor. So if we've still got a pen on here, So it was 2.0 kilohertz. It's now 2.2 with 2.5 peak. So that was 1.8 to 2. We're not doing the VCO. AM mod 55%, and now it's 80%. We'll come back to the power. That was now reading 4, and of course they're working. So I think you see the low power, it's not, you can't alter it, it's a preset thing. So we've set 4 watts to well, 3.4, so all the other power levels will be in sympathy. Belt clip we'll worry about later. There's still that piece of debris in there, because when you take it apart you don't take it that far down. So it would have been nice if that had gone, but there you are. Right, here's the thing. Let's see whether we can get this adapter to provide the power. Probably we're going to be less through this SO239, but I'm wanting to see whether the radio cuts out as it did do. So we'll go to 12 volts. So we'll switch to 12.8 so the adapter can do its adapter job. Power up that. Right, so far so good. What happens when we press transmit? Let's make sure we're on the right meter. It's absolutely fine. Let's go to AM 3 watts. Let's reprogram it for UK. Turn the volume down. Transmit. It's 3 watts. So we're going to go back to our, I've only had it 2 seconds ago, our BNC adapter. So UK channel 20, we're getting 3 watts. Through the SO239, we're getting 3.2 watts. Channel 40, 3.3 watts, 3.2 watts. It's about all around 3.2 watts. Now when we wrote down it was doing 3 watts, that was under the same conditions of having the power connected directly inside. So 3.4 isn't the case when it's on its external umbilical adapter. So what it's going to be when it's on its batteries is another thing. Are these batteries full? So all you know, what I've done is to sort that stupid export link out and reset the thing, and then obviously go through the service manual with it, and it's now transmitting as it should do. Good. I think before we move any further, we'll go on the air with the aerial. So I'm kind of, why does the umbilical cord give us better output with an SO239 on the back than the one on the top? Who knows? I think we've had that before with some of these adapters. So I'm sure it's at 13.8 volts, it's going to do the same, because this umbilical cord's dropping it to 8.5. So we're now on the aerial. 19 Roger.
Kannst du mir ein paar Wörter in WhatsApp schreiben? Muss ich mein Nummer dir geben wieder oder nein? Du hast mein Nummer, aber warum?
But he's not doing 4 watts. Well, a load of rubbish. Saying he's in Florida. But on UK FM, FCC will be around to have him nobbled if that was the case. Right. Batteries. .26 1.26 flat. Flat. .1. 1.24. So before we do the reason it wasn't transmitting on its batteries was the batteries were flat. Now I don't know how he's charging them. Does this have an internal charger circuit? And if so, how does it work? Battery charging. Switch the radio off and connect the battery travel charger AC520 into the charge socket and then plug it into the mains. 12-hour charge rate for 1500 milliamp hour batteries. Now these are 2600 milliamp hour batteries, so in that case it's going to be at least 24 hours, isn't it, for it to charge. I'm going to charge these in a smart charger, and I'm going to discharge them and recharge them. I'll just go to the chapel where I put this, and we'll just see if he's actually got the right mains adapter before bringing this to conclusion. Meanwhile, I'll put these on charge with one of our smart chargers that can discharge. Yeah, so in conclusion, he has got the right adapter. AC505. Shame it's has to go through an adapter, but it doesn't matter. 9 volts, 300 milliamps. So he's going to be charging those for 24 hours. I don't know whether that's where he's going wrong, or whether there's something wrong with the batteries. What I've done, I've put his batteries on charge on one of our smart chargers. We're charging them at 300 milliamps, and I'll do an on-the-air test using the umbilical cord, and then with permission to do a field test with this set. We don't normally do field tests with customer sets, but in this case he said, I want you to do a field test. We will. Back to this. I do like the way you've got 3 power settings, 1/10 of a watt, 1 watt, and the 4 watts, which of course is not quite what they are, but you know, if you only need 100 milliwatts because you're talking to somebody in the next room, you don't need to be wasting electricity. The last thing I want is this at the speech processor. I'm sure we'll probably play with that. Yes, so let's have a look. AC520. Well, this is AC505. But then if it fits the jack and it does the charging, it's 3 conductor. Anyway, I'll do a bit of research to that. But I was beginning to think that the voltage regulator inside there was kaput because of not getting that thing, but it's fine. So between cleaning the contacts and dismantling and putting it back together and not having it in export mode and doing the service work, everything's spot on. So I'm pleased with the result. 19 Roger. It's certainly transmitting. We can hear the people with the stupid selective calling sounding Roger bleeps out there. Yeah, so it says do not charge for more than 13 to 14 hours, but with batteries he's got, it's 24, 25 hours. You've got to take that into consideration. So the final thing to do is let's look at the circuit diagram and see if it's just a resistor as a charge control kind of thing. I'm trying to think how long this video is going to be, but at least all the connecting and disconnecting is going to get edited out. So what happens here? Oh yeah, it's only if you've got the switch in the 9-volt position, then the charger won't do anything because you'd be trying to charge alkalines. And if you've got it in the nickel cadmium or nickel metal hydride position, there's simply a diode so that it flows the right way, and a 68 ohm half watt resistor. So that's the kind of charge limiting that it's doing. So there isn't some kind of clever circuit, it's just like they've always been in the past. So there we go. So that's worked out a nice radio that does what you expect. And I'll be interested to see how it works on the field test. And I'll probably discuss this further. So we're charging some of our own RS batteries up, charging the customers' batteries up. We'll do the field test on our batteries, and we'll see how his go. So thanks for watching the Intek H520 Plus Hand Portable from about 9 years ago now. I think they're about 2014.